What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. Super excited to dive into a topic that's very top of mind for me right now. And hopefully by the time this episode airs, which will be in March, we're filming here in January, that I have concluded at least my thoughts on this conversation. So want to jump into a topic today that I think is fundamental for real estate investors to turn real estate investing as much passive as possible. And that is property management and property management software for those landlords who want to self-manage their real estate. So we'll dive into the software that I use, how it helps me, but some of the pitfalls I'm facing with it, and therefore some of the other softwares I'm considering. So stay tuned for another episode. I'm your host, Ryan Richards. Let's dive into it. So property management software is super important for really any landlord, but especially landlords who are trying to self-manage their portfolios, because there's only so much time in the day, and the tasks that you ultimately take on without a software become very repetitive and require a lot of manual effort and attention. So finding a software that accomplishes the goals you're looking for and takes the tasks off of your plate that you need to offload is super important. So for me, getting into the software space, I really didn't have any background or experience. Not many people do until you really get into it. So I asked around with a few people in the industry, a few close contacts of mine who have properties and self-manage, got a few different softwares kicking around, and ultimately found a software that I launched and started with my portfolio. Now, every software has its pros and cons, so it's important to really figure out what's most important for you and your goals to make sure the software can accomplish those types of things. But at the end of the day, you just have to pick a software. You can't get lost in overanalyzing and then put yourself in a position where you don't pick one because you spent too much time thinking about it. Because at the end of the day, it's really easy to flip software. It's really easy to change softwares. But a couple things you're going to want to make sure you think about when picking the right software. Number one is cost. Some softwares are free. Some softwares have a monthly or yearly charge, and some of those costs can be very expensive. For premier property management softwares with a lot of the customization, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars a year in costs just to own and operate that software. But if you're a smaller investor and have a portfolio of 5, 10, 15, 20 units, you don't need something as robust as an appfolio, where you're spending thousands of dollars. You don't need that type of build out yet. But something I learned later in the game that I wish I thought about sooner is pairing the real estate software, property management software, with your investment objectives. So for me, the software I picked was very helpful at offloading a lot of the manual tasks that I do from a financial reporting standpoint, but it was not a good software for me in the sense of scaling. Based on where I want to go with my real estate portfolio, the software is very limiting as you start to build out more complex systems and add more tenants under management. So for me, the software I chose was Stessa. So Stessa is an excellent software for landlords if you're looking to get some of the bookkeeping, financial reporting, and automated rent collection out of your hands. It is integrated very well with a lot of AI, so you're able to very easily categorize transactions, upload receipts, and create a bookkeeping platform for you to monitor all your financials. But what Stessa does not do well, and ultimately where it falls short, is it does not allow a lot of customization, and does not allow really any tenant relations with the software. There's no tenant portal you can go into. There's no opportunity for maintenance requests to be submitted. And therefore, there's no way to create systems for a team to view maintenance requests on a central platform and to have those tasks delegated and monitored accordingly. So it can be a great software to get out of the blocks because it's fairly inexpensive. I think it's about $20 a month to manage the software. And again, takes all of the bookkeeping off of your plate, allows you to have one central place to upload all of your documents to, and streamlines rent collection because everything can be done, online. All of your tenants can submit rent payments online. They can set up auto pay. They get automatic reminders, and it tracks all of your income and all of your expenses. But a challenge I ran into is, okay, that's great, right? So I have all my bookkeeping done through this software, all my receipts, very easy come tax time. I can download all of my receipts, my expenses, everything is categorized and all there for me. My tenants can pay their rent electronically, but I've run into this stumbling block. So my bookkeeping's all set, but I still haven't really solved the property management challenge. How do I create a system so that my properties can run themselves without me really being involved? And the biggest time component of property management is maintenance and tenant relations, which this software has no capability to improve upon. So I started to look at other softwares. One that I'm highly considering is a software called Buildium. Now, Buildium's a lot more expensive. It's about $220 a month as opposed to $20 a month. But the customization and automation is so much more advanced than what I have on Stessa. It still does all of the bookkeeping. It still allows tenants to pay rent electronically, but it creates a central platform and a portal for tenant relations. So it creates a separate website domain, so tenants have their own access to their portal. They can go onto the portal, submit maintenance requests. They can see any updates on the property. Any mass notifications you send out to your tenants can all be done through the platform. You can send mass text messages, mass emails, really streamlines communication, and then allows tenants to have a lot more options when it comes to paying rent. They can pay on a credit card. They can pay direct from their bank account. They can go to various locations and drop off cash that will ultimately be converted through a place like Western Union or some select drop-off locations that allow that. But for me, what it really does is the tenant relations part, but on the back end. So I'm more focused on systems, which ultimately, if you're going to scale any business or any operation, you have to be focused on systems. And the key feature that I'm most excited about this platform is it creates a lot of automation for delegation around tasks, task management, and efficient operations for teams. So as an example, one thing I'm really looking forward to is it allows tenants to submit maintenance requests through a portal. So the tenant submits a maintenance request. My water is leaking in my sink. They send a video. So you have a video or picture of the maintenance request that's being submitted. And once that's done, it goes into the back end, which is the landlord's portal, as an open maintenance ticket. Now, when that ticket comes in, this is where you can really create a lot of systems. You're able to delegate that maintenance request to someone on your team. So for me, I'm considering a virtual assistant. Virtual assistant would get notified of that maintenance request. They then, in the portal, are able to select one of my preferred vendors that are pre-uploaded within the portal to have them address this maintenance request. Then they can also select a time frame to completion. They can prioritize the task accordingly based on the importance or time sensitivity of the task. And then as the landlord, I'm able to jump into the system at any time and take a look at where all of the tasks are within their completion timeline. So allows you to start to create some systems so that you don't have to do that upfront work. You're coming in on the back end just to check and assure things are getting done timely, properly, and that the numbers are all in order with what you were expecting in terms of the cost to fix. So it gives you some more opportunities to create systems. With that is a lot of other tasks you can systematize within the portal. For example, accounts payable. Another task you can have a VA take over for you, and this software allows you to do it very seamlessly. So you can set certain permissions within the software so that your virtual assistant, or in this case, maybe a bookkeeper, would be able to say, pay your real estate tax bill, pay your water bill, pay your electric, pay your heat. They're able to go in through the software, get payments queued up to send to those places, but based on the limitations you set, they cannot actually send the payment until you authorize it. So it allows them to do all of the initial work, the 80%, if you will. They do the first 80%. You just have to come in and do the last 20. Make sure that payment is the right amount, it's going to the right place. You can authorize the payment. So set some checks and balances so that they only spend the money on things that you want them to. But it allows you, again, to take one step further away from the day-to-day property management. So these are some of the things you'll want to start to think about as you look at property management software. And again, making sure you have a good understanding on where you want your real estate journey to go. Because some of these softwares, they might have too much in there for you. You might not need to have a whole maintenance ticketing system if you only have 6 units. You can just have your tenants text you a picture. You can call your handyman. He can go out and do it for you. So it just depends on where you want to go with your real estate business and with your portfolio and how involved you want to be. Some landlords like being involved in their portfolios. For me, I do enjoy real estate, but I definitely want to find a way to get out of the day-to-day of property management so I can focus on more higher value tasks. I'd rather be focusing all my time and effort on my loan business, on finding the next, deal, finding my next investment opportunity, rather than coordinating with my handyman to fix a leak in the sink. That's a lower value task. So I want to find ways to have other people take that off my plate. And if you're going to do it on your own, which I'm hoping to be able to do, you need the right software so you can delegate and have the right systems in place to manage those tasks efficiently. So as you're exploring property management softwares, make sure you keep these things in mind. If you ever want recommendations or to chat through, what you're experiencing or some property softwares you have in mind, feel free to reach out to me, DM me on Finance with Team Richards. Otherwise, stay tuned for more episodes coming like this. And hopefully, in episodes to come, I'll have made the switch and have more to share with you on the systems that I put in place to efficiently operate my properties without being involved in the day-to-day. Thanks for watching.